Campers, it's me, Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees. From Friday the 13th, I'm here with AJ, and he's got the juiciest slice ready for you. It's dripping with blood. Jason never dies.
Salutations, all. This time around, I want to discuss something that's been stuck in my craw for years.
What the goddamn to do?
Something regarding the 4th season premiere of that 70s show, titled It's a Wonderful Life. Namely,
well, I guess I have no choice.
Eric Foreman's lack of insight following an involuntary angelic intervention in the aftermath of foolishly dumping the love of his life.
Like everyone doesn't try that.
Thanks a lot for checking this out. If anything about it trips your fancy, please like, subscribe, and share.
Oh, yes.
As sitcoms go, that 70s show, despite the inclusion of certain elements,
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
although it took decades, how prescient this proved.
Prison.
Who would have guessed that a quarter of a century on, wild man Danny Bonaducci would have the much better reputation? But I digress. That 70s show was a terrifically entertaining slice of life comedy that demonstrated the power of a solid ensemble. The cast of unique personalities boosted up main character Eric Foreman as he navigated the travails of life. An aspect that drove the first season was the burgeoning romance between the uptight young man and beautiful neighbor girl, Donna Pinciotti.
Thanks for the ride.
A flirtation that, with a first kiss instigated by Donna, bloomed into a full garden. Despite typical relationship hiccups, just when you think their bond is unshakable, trouble in paradise arises, all because of a promise ring, given because Eric assumes the gesture a prerequisite to an eventual engagement and permanent commitment, which sort of sounds more like an involuntary stay in a hospital than a measure of love.
We're happier than ever.
Well, one of you is.
The problem is that flies in the face of Donna's personal and professional goals, something she's made quite clear right in front of him.
So turns out my super sensitive guy boyfriend wants me to be a baby machine.
And in no uncertain terms made herself perfectly understood.
I'm sitting right here.
That's why I said it, you dillhole.
So it's not like he's blind to it, but that doesn't mean a refresher isn't in order.
No, you're trying to lock her up. Seal the deal.
Suburban privilege or youthful entitlement, whichever it is, doesn't forever inoculate an idealistic young man from certain realities.
Oh my god, it's so sad.
Especially when they have a frenemy rubbing in hard truths.
And all I'm saying is,
When someone prefaces what they have to say with, "all I'm saying," it invariably leads to good news. No, wait, that's not true at all.
maybe Donna's not that kind of girl.
It's not even that she's adverse to commitment so much as being nailed to the floor.
Okay, you don't know as much as you think, Hyde.
Deep up his own rear end, Eric can't tell that what Hyde's shoveling isn't what stinks.
So you need to just shut up.
The thing is, Donna wants the option, I emphasize option, to pursue paths afforded to her by the modern world.
And this ring is just a stupid high school promise.
She's an aspiring writer, and pursuing her dream seems within her grasp if she's willing to work hard.
If we're meant to be together, then we'll end up together.
But Eric, clinging to traditional ideas,
No.
can't stand the notion she won't as a given capitulate to marriage and having a family.
The way we end up together is by saying we'll be together,
And it kind of shatters his understanding of everything.
and then being together.
Donna recognizes all the good in their current relationship.
Eric, come on. We're together now.
But because she also sees that they can't predict the future, and with changing circumstances, too strong of a commitment could cost them both opportunities.
Isn't that enough?
No! I mean,
Eric rebukes her because from his frame of reference,
I mean, damn, Donna!
he can't understand why it would be such a leap of faith.
If you can see a future for yourself without me, and that doesn't, like, break your heart...
On the one hand, his intimacy is respectable, his devotion for the most part positive.
Then we're not doing what I thought we were doing here, and you know what? Maybe we shouldn't even be together at all.
But to be fair, this very stunt is displaying the kind of possessiveness and controlling nature that would suggest she might be discouraged from pursuing her interests by way of pedantic whining if he felt they weren't in their mutual, as in his, best interest.
Are you breaking up with me?
The epitome of hard-headed, he's basically willing to stand his ground, no matter how consequential the pain.
Well, are you giving back that ring?
Ugh, what an outstanding response. Not exactly the power movie thinks it is. Donna is smart enough not to give in to ultimatums, aware they each have their boundaries, and conceding now will solve nothing, so she leaves the ring and goes. Eric ended their relationship in one implosive moment of irrationality. Why would I say that? He wasn't shortchanged. He wasn't swindled. They're in high school. Honesty should be prized. Where their goals aligned should have been the focus, not future possibilities. But Eric's ego obviously couldn't stand the possibility of being overlooked. In the wake of the breakup, he childishly sulks and determines where it all went wrong.
God, I wish we'd never kissed.
Jeez, what a drama queen.
If he could only take that back, everything would be better, having never had to suffer love lost. Or so it would seem.
Well, you said you wished that you'd never kissed her. I can show you what would have happened if you never did.
Right off, Eric has shown that without that kiss occurring, Donna is quickly swept up into an entanglement with mutual friend Hyde.
Well, Eric, it's 3 months later. Donna's with Hyde, Kelso's with Jackie.
It's quickly established that Milquetoast Eric has become the unquestioned outsider of the friend group.
And you became... just watch.
Does anyone want to watch Flipper?
Not that tattoos necessarily derive from bad influences.
Hey, you got your birthday present?
What is it?
Tattoo.
And even if I agree with the sentiment because it's ultimately wise advice,
Question authority. Cool.
but it doesn't seem like a lot of self-inventory went into that decision. Eric calls bullshit.
My Donna would never get a tattoo.
No, but Hyde's Donna would.
Eric a central figure turned afterthought. Donna is so consumed by adolescent infatuation, she's not even sure they're still neighbors.
Huh, so do you still live next door?
Oh yeah, you bet.
This all leads to years of sad loneliness for alternate timeline Eric. Every milestone that was wonderful with Donna soon turned on their ear.
Now get one of me giving her the corsage.
Let's roll, Twiggy. My bra's about to snap.
Eric is rightly horrified at this turn of events.
I went to prom with Big Rhonda.
Sweet, huh?
Things only get worse as Donna and Hyde's entanglement winds up even more knotted.
Another tattoo.
Never let it be said she isn't a highly volatile and romantic woman.
Property of Hyde. Classy.
From a special experience with a woman he was in love with, to a first time that could have come out of a 1980s sex comedy.
Hey, everybody! I just made Foreman a man.
With the requisite humiliation that goes hand in hand on top of it.
Well, much of a man as he'll ever be.
This alone should open his eyes to the fact that some trade-offs aren't worthwhile or equitable. Besides his own sad disposition, there are other ancillary threads, and the sum total of it all might be making an impact.
It's like my relationship with Donna touched everyone's life.
But nope.
And I was just gonna throw that
Eric is too sullen and plain heartsick for bigger pictures to bear any resonance at the moment.
Okay, you're unpleasant.
Just give it up. I don't care.
This necessitates a trip forward in time, to when things start getting really juicy.
Welcome to 1983, Donna and Hyde's wedding.
Interesting. Donna seems to have thrown away her higher aspirations.
Man, did you have to make her pregnant?
To pursue the family life. This may not have been a choice, but at least here, she's over the moon.
Good God, I wish I could just wake up.
At this point, terminally angsty Eric has proven so intransigent, the angel wants him to suffer.
Oh, you may never wake up. This could be a coma dream.
It would seem alternate Eric's inclusion at the wedding is to wrangle his sort of girlfriend, who probably only agreed to come for the catering.
Please, honey, for the love of God.
Don't honey me. I'm hungry, stickman.
The question of whether or not wedding bells are in Eric's future comes down to a handful of factors, not least of which that his and Big Rhonda's prerogatives don't line up, at least not as well as her genitalia with genitalia other than his.
And her cheating on me.
Time goes by and Eric finds success in the retail world, while love eludes him. Not the most favorable position to be in when it's time for another landmark event.
Welcome to your 10-year high school reunion.
Eric centers on one detail and declares success.
All right, I finally grew a mustache.
But the humbling will only continue.
Actually, it's chocolate cake.
From a run-in with his ex, formerly known as Big Rhonda, he learns what it took for her to mend her ways and transform her appearance, her whole life.
Yeah, I was so disgusted with my life. I mean, if someone like you didn't want to see me, then...
Well, if that isn't strafing, castigating, and, gee whiz, a little castrating.
So, thanks to you and Jane Fonda, I have this new fabulous body.
To her credit, she was even able to parlay her personal growth into a rewarding career.
And a successful aerobics studio.
Just a good guy, Eric takes it good-naturedly and owns his role in her metamorphosis.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm glad I could help.
With pleasantries exchanged, Rhonda vindicated, and Eric's confidence destroyed, she takes her leave of him.
Rip it up!
Even though he can be happy for her, doesn't change that he can be sad for himself. The sight of Donna arrests him in place, and he has to gather himself before making contact.
Oh, hey! Hi. Hey, Donna.
Hard to be optimistic. He doesn't depend on her recognizing his face.
It's Eric Foreman from Point Place High School.
Yeah, Eric, I know.
Considering how things turned out, he can't really be judged for not assuming she would just remember him.
It's our reunion.
Right. Good one.
Whether or not he really wants to know any details, he's kind and polite.
So, how are you doing?
There's a sense that she chooses to be happy enough in her life, but there are plenty of pitfalls.
Oh, right, I heard you guys moved. How's Hyde?
Hyde's good. The kids are good.
Why she has found her way to their reunion on her own comes out.
He's gone a lot. Prison, whatever.
I don't know, it just seems like someone knew something.
So, Eric, how are you?
I'm, great.
Congenial despite shortcomings that probably make it hard for him to sleep at night, he puts a positive spin on what can only be viewed as a good life, if not examined too closely.
I'm the number 3 waterbed dealer in Wisconsin, so...
Success looks good. It may even to an extent feel good, but it means little if you don't go home to someone you love, and who loves you.
Donna, you look great.
Oh, thanks.
This all leads to an exchange of confessions.
I had a crush on you in high school.
I had a crush on you, too.
Which prompts Donna to tell him about that kiss that never was.
You know I almost kissed you once?
A rather weighted admission, a real swerve. It recontextualizes his whole life.
What might have been, huh?
A real put on a happy face moment. He reaches into the past, looking for something to change the subject.
So are you still writing?
There's not much time for such whimsy when life is coming at you full speed.
Oh, God. Well, permission slips. 3 kids, you know.
It would seem her enthusiasm was daunted long ago.
Right. Well, you should start again.
Something Eric wouldn't consider, because from the outside looking in, it's hard to notice all that the surface cosmetics hide.
Because, you were really good at it.
Time moves on. Goals, dreams, those big ideas of youth. Well, all that often falls by the wayside when real life intrudes.
Oh, well, it's too late for that.
Donna seems acutely aware of how time gets away from you.
It's too late for a lot of...
What is she considering? All the stability Eric would offer, the gentle caring, security, a lack of criminal proclivity, and it wrecks her a little to know how poorly she chose, wishing she had kissed him all those years ago.
Hey, so I'll see you, Eric.
Yeah, I'll see you, Donna. Okay.
But that's all in the never was, the torturous land of retrospect, where regret embitters the soul, which is why wine, and in the modern day edibles, are mandatory survival tools. In her absence, he's left alone, maybe more alone than he's ever been.
Huh?
The thing about heartbreak, it can leave you numb to the plights of others.
Huh? Start the waterworks.
And Eric is too twisted up in his own funk to poke his head out of the burial mound he's interred himself beneath, so his feelings can fester, decay, and rot away in peace.
Sorry.
Come on, you gotta feel something.
Yeah. Envy.
Not so much stubborn as intractable, Eric is unmoved. He's a complicated person.
He never had to feel the pain of losing her. Oh, wait a minute.
The alternate timeline Eric obviously deeply regrets that he was never blessed enough to be with Donna.
You actually had a relationship with Donna?
Eric is a little taken aback that his misbegotten doppelganger has an ear in their conversation.
Wait, I thought you said he couldn't hear me.
I'm loose with the rules, so sue me.
The angel is unrepentant because there are things he maybe needs to hear.
No, seriously, you had Donna? Look, we broke up.
If getting over an impromptu breakup came easily, he would maybe have the proper perspective to see how even having a relationship with Donna calibrated the scales of his life more in his favor.
You're much better off. Says you? Look at me!
I know you're thirsty, but that tall drink of water will only slake your thirst if you drink freely without expectation. Put it like that, it suddenly sounds crazy.
I'm 28 years old! I've only had sex with Big Rhonda!
What insight into this version of Eric, that he continued to give energy to Big Rhonda even though she was putting out to others, while stringing him along as her fallback, suggests either intense loneliness or a pathological need to make things work. Probably the former.
And all 3 times, believe me, she did not look like that!
But broken-hearted Eric stonewalls the notion even this pitiful reimagining of his life would be worse.
Idiot! You're sad you were never with Donna? Well, you got off light, man!
Then the emotional turmoil and agony he's suffering for having had her in his grasp, only for his hold to fail.
I had her, and I lost her. And believe me, you don't want to know how bad that hurts.
Having seen the spiel, he's unwavering and does what comes naturally. None too proud alternate timeline Eric isn't as adverse to help as his obstinate counterpart.
Can you do anything to help me?
But the sad sack is doomed to remain in his purgatorial rut of a life.
Listen closely. No.
In no way convinced, because that would mean climbing out of his selfish hoe of woe is me despair.
You know, Angel, thanks, but I've got to go to sleep.
He'd rather wallow in the muckiest feelings than concede a thing.
Because I have a big day of misery ahead of me.
Evidently a lost cause, unable to see the silver lining even a little. There's no point wasting any more time on him.
Okay, you win. It was better never to have loved at all.
The angel tells Eric he can take away the pain by making it so the kiss never happened. But first, he wants to remind him of what he'll be giving up.
Hang on.
The thing is, a relationship comprises lots and lots of memories. All the laughs, joys, and elation, the incredible cornucopia. Reveals the depth and breadth and grandiosity of the connection and caring and love that can exist between two people. The vast garden I alluded to earlier. At the point the profusion becomes kaleidoscopic, Eric is overwhelmed with the preponderance and scope of it all.
Wait, no. I want to keep it.
And hallelujah, he finally recognizes all he would lose far outweighs whatever pain he's in, which is saying something, because his pain would fill stadiums.
Please, just let me keep it.
And he's left there alone, sitting on a bed on which he and Donna slept and joked around and studied, and even made love on multiple occasions. So what was the lesson he missed? Certain his problems were the most complicated of all. Eric would have you believe unpacking all this would be like itemizing the contents of a steamer trunk upon returning from an overseas voyage. But it's much simpler than that. It's more like unpacking an overnight bag. Because it was all right there, revealed in no uncertain terms. Is it possible the details of the phantasm didn't stay with him? Like how the flesh of a dream falls away upon waking, leaving only the bare bones? Even if he didn't outright remember the angelic intervention, he should have been left with an intuition, an instinct. Each epoch he was taken to reinforce the same thing. For instance, once committed, Donna stayed committed. But that's really not even the point. Donna hooked up with Hyde and went his direction in life, which led to what? The pair living out Eric's dream by marrying and having children.
What? No.
How was Hyde able to lock her down so tightly when Eric couldn't? Not putting her in bondage, not forcing commitment or obligation. By keeping it loose, Donna was the one who wanted to impress, such as seeking approval by getting tattooed, and was the one who instigated attachment by being cool with unprotected sex, leading to pregnancy. What's important is that Hyde didn't barge over boundaries, instead setting off a wave, or maybe a tide, of fervor and intrigue and lust that carried her away, and before she knew it, she was mom to a gaggle of children, while her husband lived up to all the expectations and wound up in lockup. Donna was maybe faithful to a fault, staying with a criminal, but who am I or anyone else to judge such a decision?
Huh. So everything's cool?
Sadly, when you really break it down to the base components, by worrying and being insecure, Eric was comparatively a lot less fun, creating a lot of drama a guy like Hyde would avoid at all costs. What else might have helped him achieve such a stronghold on Donna? Value through lack of commitment, the exact opposite of Eric's approach. The fly-by-the-seat-of-your-pants mentality of, I'll be here until you ask me to stay, at which point it'll be time to move along. Hyde was the type who, upon a woman questioning their future together, would leave without a second thought. Such a total lack of insecurity when it comes to his place in her life can mesmerize and entrance a woman, making him a perpetual object of desire she's willing to fight for, to covet, to prize. A little thrill in the worry he might actually leave. Motivation to hang on, Because why should some other woman get to have him? Karen from Goodfellas would understand.
What is that supposed to mean?
Basically because Hyde adopted a bad boy live for today philosophy. Just by happenstance, Donna fell into the life Eric wanted her to live with him, married with children, because that rough and tumble antisocial aesthetic and mystique trapped and held her, likely sparking a savior complex besides. You know, because she was the one who could fix him.
Oh, Lord.
This all might be a lesson that there are times it's better to get over yourself. Eric definitely needed to get over himself. Not to encourage faltering in one's convictions, but be careful how they are applied, because they don't always help you. Case in point, ending it with someone for not wanting to make a lifelong commitment before graduating from high school. That just seems counterintuitive. Another fact that was pretty obvious, being in a relationship with Donna restructured his whole life for the better, setting him on the path to being the kind of man able to stand up for himself.
I thought I told you to tar the driveway.
Yeah, but I'm hanging out with my friends.
Before she had his back, he lacked the nerve to muster any kind of reprisal, inviting condescension.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Now get your ass up there and get to work.
In fact, before Donna, he might have lacked a back altogether, at least a spine.
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry, Dad. Don't be mad.
Since he had yet to understand just what a ripple their union made, none of this rang true to Eric.
This is made-up angel crap. I wouldn't cave to Red like that.
But in truth, caving was very much in character, before he was uplifted by one of the most powerful energizers known to mankind, romantic bolstering.
Ah, you've already forgotten what a wuss you were.
The shot in the arm a young man receives from having a caring partner. Frankly, it's all natural, yet more powerful than amphetamines.
See, it was Donna who gave you the confidence to stand up to Red.
It's rather sad that in turn this empowerment led him to putting his foot down with the very person who made it possible for him to take such a stance. And why?
The important thing is when you see yourself in Paris or wherever, I'm there, right?
Donna was secure with him, secure enough to pursue her dreams. The pregnant pause was telling.
Right?
And I think it came down to Donna, for maybe the first time, considering what the long term with Eric could mean, if he acts this way over healthy boundaries.
I don't know. Not always.
He said that if she could see a future without him and it didn't break her heart, he didn't know what they were doing. But the thing is, prior to all this, she experienced an instance when she was absolutely broken-hearted at the thought that her union was doomed not to last.
Oh, honey, don't worry so much about what Eric said. You're probably not even going to have to deal with this anyway.
When they were working through another issue.
How do you figure that?
Well, you and Eric are so young.
And her attentive mom casually dropped a huge bomb no one in young love wants to hear.
The chances are you're not going to end up together anyway.
Changing her entire view of the whole thing. Struck by the realization their time together could have an expiration date.
We gotta figure this out. Because it's just hanging over our heads like one of those huge, awful hanging things.
And it's not worth wasting time on minutia that may never matter, when it could all very well be fleeting.
Let's not worry about this anymore.
It's better to make a happy memory than quibble.
Let's go for a drive, okay?
This made Donna more of a realist, but it wasn't like she was a hopeless realist. They could be in love, loyal, and not joined at the hip 24/7.
I mean, it's not like there's anyone else, but sometimes I'm by myself.
Even in the most solid relationships, space and alone time are important. And all this exposed neediness in Eric that suggested major clinginess issues could arise.
I mean, all I mean is, I don't know. Neither of us does.
In many ways, Donna maybe felt freer with Eric than she would have with Hyde, more able to explore her dreams, which should have been taken as a badge of honor. Why did he need to have the hooks in her? Even if she had a wide array of interests, Everything indicated she was nothing but faithful. So, besides useless insecurity, what was the motivation? Was it perhaps that he wanted to get to a place where he didn't have to keep putting in the effort? Eric was wrong. Being together wasn't enough to guarantee anything, particularly when they lacked consensus. What might have worked? Working it out, every day, putting in the energy to maintain Donna's curiosity, desire, and love, while, ideally, she reciprocated with the same.
I love you. A lot. But I have to give you your ring back.
What does this all lead me to believe? Had Eric gone back to Donna and apologized for getting butthurt and overreacting, told her he recognized the wisdom of not putting too much on lifetime commitments when they're teenagers, and he could be cool with the current circumstances, Donna likely would have forgiven him, and their relationship could have resumed, possibly with some hot makeup sex. Bunny's going to bunny after all.
I apologize for nothing.
Then if he could avoid slipping into his old ways and attempting to put constraints on her, it's likely Donna would have remained loyal, married him, had his children, maybe even been the perfect housewife. Despite her own ideas of what the future of marriage might hold. Since he stubbornly stood on his square and wouldn't back down, Eric created a period of separation that didn't need to happen. There's a lot of wisdom in the lyric, "Hold on loosely but don't let go." Too bad it was in a popular song that came along a few years down the road. Donna didn't want to feel chained to the ground when life had taught her it's worth trying to fly free. Flying free doesn't necessarily mean abandoning a romantic partner. Birds of a feather flock together and all that. Where the problem emerges is when a relationship signals what could be viewed as a permanent grounding, and that goes either way. So Donna really couldn't be blamed for cutting and running when that was the only option.
Cynical? Yeah. Well, all's fair in love.
Whether you're religious or spiritual or neither, it doesn't change that angels, as depicted, aren't typically straightforward, and often work in allegory and metaphor.
Oh, I'm going to show you a lot of neat stuff like this.
So the on-the-face lesson probably wasn't the actual lesson. I'm guessing the angel face-palmed when Eric only learned that taking away the pain wasn't worth losing the growth that sprang from the relationship, when he was offered up a direct roadmap to staying with Donna, and all it took was loosening the reins, while maintaining a strong loving bond. Ultimately, Donna and Eric were good influences on each other, allowing them to maximize their strengths from a place of security. Without that, neither was as well off. All Eric had to do to maintain this benefit for both of them was realize the error of his ways, that in a partnership, there's a need for equal footing, and he might have gotten everything he wanted. Instead, he foolishly pulled away and caused them both a lot of vexation, only to wind up together in the end, likely costing an angel his halo and wings, or free buffet night and drink tickets, or whatever and whatever.
The buffoonery is endless.
Well, I've about reached the end of the rope, so I won't leave you dangling. Thanks for humoring my goofy ideas. Please share any refutations, opinions, accusations, japes, or other ideas in the comments below. And please join me for whatever I'm up to next time. Bye now.
Bye, creepy man! Keep it creepy!
He's a weird guy.
Goodbye!
I'm going to prove to you that it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, you pansy.